She was never looking for a spotlight. She became the fire others couldn't ignore. Hey Sigma ladies, let's clear the smoke. Not everyone rocking the Sigma female tag is the real deal. These days the term's been stretched, diluted, and trend-jacked. But real Sigma females, they don't trend, they transform. This isn't another recycled boss babe list or some vanilla personality quiz. What I'm about to share with you are 11 traits that cut through the noise. The kind of traits that don't just whisper Sigma, they radiate it. Quiet, powerful, unapologetic. And these traits, they're not easy to copy, because you can fake confidence, but you can't fake core. If you've ever felt like the lone wolf in a world of pack followers, if you move different, think deeper, and don't need the crowd, you're not weird, you're just built Sigma, and this video is your home base. Before we start cutting through illusions, hit that subscribe button. This channel, The Sigma Lady, isn't about chasing trends. It's about real power, raw energy, the kind they can't mass produce. And hey, if you want to keep this engine running and help me stay wild, independent, and fully uncensored, hit up my Buy Me a Coffee. Links in the description and pinned in the top comment. Every drop of support helps fuel content that actually respects your time and your mind. Now, let's separate the real from the wannabes. Let's go. 1. Ghost mode activated. A real Sigma female doesn't just disappear randomly, she disengages strategically. Ghost mode is not about being flaky or unbothered, it's a calculated retreat. When the noise gets too loud, when the energy is off, when distractions start messing with her clarity, she vanishes. But what the outside world doesn't see is what happens inside her silence. In ghost mode, she's auditing her relationships, recalibrating her goals, fine-tuning her self-awareness. She's pruning what no longer fits without needing anyone's permission. It's not cutting people off in the dramatic sense. It's letting what's fake fall off naturally when it no longer gets a response. Wannabes ghost for drama or to be chased. Sigma females do it to recenter. She understands that her energy is not infinite, so she protects it with the same vigilance others use to guard their secrets. She doesn't need to explain why she disappeared. Her presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. Her return? Always quieter, sharper, more focused, because she comes back with data on herself, on others, and on what needs to be done next. If you've ever met someone who re-emerged after silence and suddenly seemed untouchable, chances are you just witnessed a Sigma sharpening her blade in the dark. 2. No pack, no panic. Let's be clear, a Sigma female is not antisocial. She just doesn't need a tribe to validate her identity. While others are addicted to groupthink, she's operating on solo logic. Her self-trust is her GPS. Her solitude isn't loneliness, it's strategy. Wannabes try to mimic this by saying things like, "I don't need anyone," but they secretly panic when left alone. A true Sigma doesn't just survive solo, she thrives in it. She uses isolation as insulation. It protects her from bad influence, fake hype, and unnecessary conflict. She's not impressed by titles, follower counts, or who's sitting at the cool table. If it doesn't align with her vision, she's out, even if it costs her every contact in her phone. Her boundaries are not up for debate. She chooses depth over company and truth over trends. In a crisis, others run to their group chats. The Sigma female. She goes inward. She trusts herself more than the crowd because she knows crowds can be loud and wrong. That's why when everyone's scrambling for direction, she's already 3 steps ahead. Not because she's lucky, but because she's led herself for years. 3. Polite doesn't mean passive. She's not rude, she's refined. And that's where people misread her. Because she's composed, people think they can talk over her or dismiss her. But here's the twist. She doesn't need to yell to own a room. Her stillness demands more attention than chaos ever could. A Sigma female's politeness is a choice, not a personality default. She's polite because she respects herself too much to engage in pettiness. But mistake her kindness for passivity and you'll learn quick. She bites with precision, not volume. Where wannabes are reactive, she's responsive. She reads the room, speaks last, and strikes only when it's worth it. She's not trying to win arguments. She's aiming to preserve her energy. She doesn't need to prove she's right because she knows she is. Her silence isn't weakness, it's discipline. The real flex? She can disagree without being disrespectful. She can say no without raising her voice, and she can leave without slamming the door. That's not passivity, that's control. And control in the Sigma world is everything. The mirror effect. A Sigma female is not always liked, but she is almost always remembered. Why? Because she reflects people back to themselves in ways they're not ready for. Her energy is a mirror. It exposes insecurities, it surfaces hidden desires, it makes the masks fall off, not because she tries to do this, but because her authenticity leaves others with no place to hide. Wannabes want to be deep, but it's usually a performance. They study others, mimic behavior, and try to fit in while pretending not to. A Sigma doesn't study people to fit in, she observes to understand. She watches how people treat waiters, how they react when they're ignored, how they handle small power, and based on that, she knows everything she needs to know. Her mere presence can make people uncomfortable. That's not her problem, it's their unhealed parts screaming under pressure. A Sigma doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't flatter to gain favor, and doesn't bend her truth to make others comfortable. If someone can't handle the real her, they were never meant to be in her orbit. Here's the beauty of it. She doesn't try to reveal truth, she just is truth. And people either level up around her or quietly exit, but they never forget her. That's the Sigma effect. 5. Vibe curator, not crowd pleaser. Sigma females don't hustle for validation. They're not out here performing to be liked or accepted. Instead, they curate their space, energy, and interactions like an art gallery. Everything is intentional, everything has meaning. She's not the one saying yes to every invite, showing up to every event, or laughing at jokes she doesn't find funny. A wannabe will do all that, then go home drained and wondering why she feels fake. A Sigma, she never betrays her own energy to avoid awkwardness. Her inner world is too rich for superficial noise. She doesn't allow access to just anyone, and that includes friends, family, and romantic partners. If your vibe's off, you're not getting through. If your energy is scattered, she'll sense it before you even speak. And if your intentions aren't pure, she'll dismiss you without a scene. It's not arrogance, it's energetic self-respect. She chooses who gets proximity. She doesn't chase approval. She creates a space so pure that only the real can stay. That's power, that's curation, and it's rare. 6. Silence that stings. The Sigma female's silence isn't passive, it's weaponized. She knows the power of saying nothing. She understands the impact of a pause, the weight of a stare, the echo of a withheld response. Where others talk to fill the void, she lets the silence do the heavy lifting. Wannabes often talk too much to prove they're confident, but confidence that needs to be spoken isn't real. A Sigma enters a room and speaks last, not because she's shy, but because she's scanning, calculating, reading the temperature. And when she speaks, it's ice-cold truth. No fluff, no fillers. She doesn't respond to disrespect with drama. She responds with silence, and that silence stings, because nothing confuses the insecure more than being ignored by someone they tried to shake. Her silence creates space, space for others to reveal themselves, space for the noise to settle, space for her strategy to crystallize. She isn't afraid of awkward moments, she owns them, because in those moments power shifts, control returns. And the loudest one in the room is suddenly irrelevant. So when a Sigma female goes quiet, pay attention. That's the calm before her next move. And her moves are never random. 7. Zero input needed. One of the most misunderstood powers of the Sigma female is this: she doesn't need a second opinion. Not because she's arrogant, but because she's already done the internal math. She's the type who will make a life-changing decision in the quiet of her room and walk into it the next day like it was always obvious. While the world polls friends, family, and social media for approval, she moves in silence. Not impulsively, but intuitively. Wannabes love to look decisive. Sigmas are decisive because they've done the emotional work that most people avoid. They've sat with their doubts. They've questioned their beliefs. They've lived through fire and learned to trust their inner compass. She's the kind of woman who trusts her gut even when the whole room disagrees. Not because she's stubborn, but because she's seen the cost of ignoring herself, and she's not paying it again. This zero-input mindset confuses people. It frustrates those who feel entitled to influence her. But the Sigma doesn't owe explanations. She knows that too many opinions dilute clarity. She's not looking for consensus. She's looking for alignment, and she finds that by going inward, not outward. And when she does ask for input, it's not for direction, it's for perspective. The decision has already been made. She's just checking angles. There's a difference, and the Sigma knows it well. 8. Minimalist energy, maximum impact. Sigma. Females move like shadows, smooth, focused, intentional. While others make noise, she makes impact. Her energy is minimalist, but its effect is explosive. Every word, every move, every silence has weight. She doesn't overcomplicate. She doesn't over-explain. She doesn't perform. She conserves her energy like it's sacred, and it is. She knows the power of doing less, but doing it with clarity. She's not interested in multitasking herself into burnout. She'd rather do one thing with mastery than 10 things to impress others. Wannabes will flood their schedules, chase every opportunity, and spread themselves thin, hoping something sticks. A Sigma is surgical. She picks her battles. She shows up when it matters. And when she shows up, everyone feels it. Her space is minimal. Her circle is tight. Her time is protected. This isn't cold. It's calculated. She understands that energy is currency, and she spends it like a queen who knows her worth. People often wonder how she gets so much done without seeming busy. The answer? Precision. She doesn't waste motion. She doesn't seek validation. She stays in alignment, and alignment is the ultimate energy saver. 9. Emotional fortress, not ice queen. The Sigma female is often mislabeled as emotionless or cold. That's a lie told by people who mistake boundaries for barriers. The truth? She feels deeply, but she chooses wisely who gets access to that emotional core. Wannabes often wear their emotions like a badge, hoping someone will rescue or validate them. The Sigma doesn't play that game. She's not hiding her emotions. She's guarding them because she knows that vulnerability is sacred, not a show. Her emotional world is like a fortress, strong, protected, deliberate. She's not numb, she's discerning. She's been through emotional wars that taught her the difference between open and exposed. She knows how to hold space for herself without making others responsible for her healing. And when she loves, it's real. No performance, no pretense. But if you try to manipulate her emotionally, you'll find the door shut fast. She doesn't do emotional games. She doesn't need to be saved. She's not broken. She's built differently. The irony, because she doesn't bleed emotionally all over the place, people assume she doesn't feel. But the Sigma knows strength is being able to cry in private, rebuild in silence, and walk out like nothing shook you. 10. Self-sourced confidence. Confidence that comes from within is a different beast. It's not loud. It's not desperate. It doesn't need makeup, a filter, or a crowd hyping it up. That's the Sigma female's energy. Her confidence is not boosted. It's built, layer by layer, scar by scar, lesson by lesson. Wannabes chase external boosts, new outfits, more followers, someone telling them they're worthy. But the Sigma, she's past that. Her self-worth isn't on the clearance rack. It's handcrafted, private, quiet, but unshakable. She doesn't need someone to validate her ideas before she runs with them. She doesn't seek applause after making moves. And she sure as hell doesn't let a like define her value. Why? Because her confidence is rooted in competence, in knowing what she brings to the table, in remembering what she's overcome. You'll notice her walk into a room and instantly command it, without needing to dominate. That's real confidence. Not the kind that needs to be seen, but the kind that can't be ignored. And when she fails, which she does like anyone else, she doesn't fall apart. She recalibrates. Because her identity isn't built on being perfect, it's built on being solid. She knows who she is when nobody's watching, and that's her superpower. 11th, legacy over likes Sigma. Females are not here to trend, they're here to build. While others chase viral moments, she's focused on longevity. Her mind is tuned to legacy, not clout. She's not making moves for attention. She's laying bricks for something that'll last long after the noise dies down. Wannabes crave relevance. They bend, shift, and perform just to stay visible. But Sigma, she doesn't chase the spotlight. She creates systems, movements, ideas, quietly, consistently, that matter. She asks herself, will this still matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, she doesn't bother. Her legacy is not just in what she creates, it's in how she moves. She mentors without flaunting it. She impacts people without even realizing it. She lives in alignment, and that alignment leaves ripples. She might not be the loudest, but give it time. In a decade, when others have burned out chasing trends, she'll still be building, still creating, still standing, because she didn't come here for likes. She came here for legacy, and legacy doesn't beg to be seen. It demands to be remembered. And that's it, Sigma ladies. The real ones know. If those 11 traits hit something deep, it's because this path isn't about aesthetics or hashtags. It's about truth. It's about walking with purpose, thinking independently, and refusing to be diluted by noise. You don't have to perform to be powerful. You don't have to explain your silence. You are the blueprint, and the world is just now catching up. If you're tired of surface-level content, and you're ready to stay sharp, raw, and untamed, subscribe to the Sigma Lady right now. And if you want to keep this energy alive, and help me keep making content for women like you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description, and it's the first pinned comment. Every single drop of support helps this channel stay independent and unfiltered. Until next time, stay sovereign, stay savage, and never ask for permission to be who you already are. We're not building followers here, we're building forces. Catch you in the next video.